Alright, we are recording and I see the file, so let's hit resume in Mad Max. Key was originally provided by WB Games back when I reviewed this. That was 2015, I think? Pretty sure that's right. Getting to this a little late in the day, but that's, I explained last week that I now have a job that actually takes out my afternoons, which would be when I'd normally be trying to record these. What am I missing here? Oh, yeah. Okay, Yeah, I guess let's head for that. And yeah, I'll fast travel. Alright, so what have I got from this? I've got a few things. Trying to decide which to start with. Yeah, let's start with that one, which I saw later in the day today. Some of these I had seen a day or two ago. And I haven't looked too closely at this. I need to turn this down. I don't know why. It sounds kind of loud. So apparently, the decision in the Epic versus Apple case has come out today. Because remember, I record these on Fridays and they go live on Saturdays. And I just was looking at one write-up which sounded like basically Apple won everything except the very important the thing that Apple lost was that the judge said, you know what? Yes, the anti-steering provision is how it was named. The whole, if you, okay, I need to back up. I need to explain what why did the camera do that? I need to explain the Epic Apple lawsuit to begin with. So, Epic basically was trying to sue Apple, claiming that they were a monopoly and using monopolistic practices with the App Store, because Epic has Fortnite on there, and one of the things that they did that were in violation of the terms of service for a developer. I'm looking to see if there's another entrance, by the way. They violated the terms of service knowingly, because Apple says that basically if there is any purchases to be made for an app through its store, the purchases must be made through the App Store, which would then mean that Apple always gets a cut, or at least has information on the transaction, which can still be very valuable information for them. Kind of like how some allege that Amazon poaches designs with their Amazon Basic things, where they see that, oh, this product is selling a lot of, so if we start manufacturing those, then we can get sales from that. That's just my commentary on how, if the idea of even just having the information as far as what is being purchased is actually still valuable. Anyway, though apparently the judge did not feel that Epic was able to argue the case that Apple is a monopoly, they did come to the conclusion that the anti-steering, the thing saying that no, you have to purchase through the App Store, that they decided is illegal and anti-competitive. So that the judge said, what was it, 90 days that they have to remedy it? Now, of course, Apple's going to file an appeal. I mean, that's just how how it goes. There we go. Now that's done, I can focus on what I was talking about. So, yeah. As I said, Apple will undoubtedly appeal, and so may get a stay on that call to remedy, that order to remedy the thing, which would basically be they can't require that the app developers, if they have a purchase in there, that the purchases have to be made exclusively through the App Store. Which I would think in most ways that shouldn't be too difficult. It would depend, though, because there might be, in theory, it might just be they need to change their terms of service, but there might be some other technical stuff involved, I could believe. That's, again, just me guessing, but, it's... I know I am being so jumbled right now. But, yeah, it still is... That's a fairly significant decision. Because that is major, that Apple will have to change that. At least until there's an appeal, and maybe they win it, or maybe they lose it. We won't know for a while. And also, it would not be surprising if Epic also tries to appeal, to try to get its losses, turned into wins, or whatever. But until then, the ruling was also that Epic will have to pay Apple so much because they did violate the terms of service, basically, and that resulted in loss of revenue to Apple, or there was just they have to pay a fine. I don't quite remember, but I think part of it was also they have to pay interest on it as well, which is technically sizable, but this is Epic with Fortnite money. Did they have it? It's kind of how they go. And is the... No, this is it? I don't think this is the way I came in. I'm a little turned around. Okay, I came down there. Okay, now alright. Alright, so what else have I got? Yeah, let's do those. So something I saw, and I didn't look too... It's been a busy week for me, in part because of the actual job work that I have, and also trying to get through the editing of an article, and I feel like there was something else I had to do, but I can't think of it now. I hate it when that happens. But anyway, one thing I saw was at least the rumor that Intel is with the Alchemist GPUs. That's their first discrete GPU for consumers, discrete gaming GPU. At least the rumor that it is well, I remember a while ago it being said their target was like the RTX 3070 level of performance, which would also be about the RX 6700 XT level of performance. Roughly, it would be in that area. But now, well, it sounds like they may have actually managed to hit that. I'm not entirely sure about the substance to the rumor, but that level of performance had 175 to 225 watts, which is pretty good, actually. I mean, if that's... I wouldn't be surprised if that's where those two already out GPUs from AMD and NVIDIA are, but it's still... It's like, if you were able to hit that level of performance, even if that's your top level performance, if you're able to hit that and at, basically equivalent efficiency. I don't remember what the power requirements are for those two GPUs. I'm just saying, let's assume that is it. That's a good first product. It is. Because I'm thinking about it. How long was both AMD and NVIDIA have had in not the longest period of time very inefficient architectures. Like Vega was more efficient than people want to want to admit. But it still was not as efficient as Pascal. Whereas NVIDIA, I mean, just look back to the Fermi GPUs, where the joke was that you could, cook eggs on them. Which somebody did try, and I'm pretty sure it didn't work, but it was hard enough that people, experimented. That's not a good thing. So if Intel's able to actually achieve performance and efficiency on the first go, that's pretty good. And also I've been thinking, it's because I would like to, get my hands on one when they come out so that, I can do testing with. But also just the whole, because I've talked about, my laptop is still working, nothing wrong with it, but it would be, if I'm gonna consider replacing anything, that would be what I'd replace, because it's the oldest system I got at the moment, and it does have some weakness. Mainly, it's just, it's getting a little bit slow because of its age. And it is 4 gig of RAM, but it's a 2-core, 4-thread Intel i5, mobile i5. It's not that fast. Oh, he's not. Okay. But just, thinking, there's a part of me that would like it to like whatever I replace the laptop with, or rather upgrade, because some chances are the laptop will still be good. I'll just do something else with it. It's like there's a part of me that would be awesome if I could get in like one of the higher core count Ryzens in there, and also an AMD GPU, in part because Radeon Chill just seems like a perfect feature to have for a laptop, doesn't it? But it's like, I might be willing to give. I mean, it's already got an Intel CPU in there, and it, works plenty well. So it's like I could, when upgrading it, try to get another Intel chip in there, and it could be interesting if it were like an Alder Lake, so you got the hybrid structure, the hybrid design, and combine that with the a mobile GPU mobile Alchemist instead of desktop Alchemist. I'd be willing to give that a shot. I think it could be interesting. Oh, that also reminds me of something else I saw. This may have been last week though, but I think it was like an actual definitive statement, not a rumor, that they are going to have in the drivers day 1. I think it was that they were saying overclocking features in the drivers, which in some ways is not too surprising because they have some people from AMD, and that's long been a feature in the AMD drivers now. But that's yet to be something in NVIDIA drivers, which is something that I'm quite aware of because that's like when I do experiments and such, or performance analyses and such with the GPUs. I don't do anything with the NVIDIA GPUs. Those all run stock. The AMD GPUs, well, Vega 64 mainly. I mean, I do also test some of. I do also test the RX 580. It's just not always. And the for the gaming, I do, but for the thermals, that hopefully the article won't take me too long to get through. But when I get to that, it will not have the RX 580 because I don't want to take down the desktop for that long for testing. Even in the desktop, that's 2 hours I can't use the computer. But it's like, I undervolt the RX 580. I run the Vega 64 at the auto undervolt. It's like, I don't do that with NVIDIA GPUs because you have to install third-party software to achieve that. And I don't think that's really a fair thing to do. Is this the way up? It is. And I know I could just install like MSI Afterburner. I used it years ago when I was running the NVIDIA GPUs in. I don't even know if I used it when I had with this desktop build. It might have been in a previous build. But my point is still, it's been many years since I used it, and it's, you know, mainly I didn't even use it for overclock. I just used it for messing with the fan profile. How many am I? 2. Might need to go right back down. That's gonna... But yeah, getting back to my original point though, that statement that they will have the overclocking stuff day one, that actually is significant. Even though I don't necessarily delve deeply into overclocking stuff, it's still, that's, you know, it's like, hey, here's a feature that plenty of people are going to be interested in. And they're actually going to have it there, as opposed to NVIDIA. That hasn't really changed their drivers in how many decades? Are we at 2? Has it changed much since the 90s? Let me see, I had a laptop. It died, well, the motherboard died on me. Yeah. For whatever reason, it was a laptop where it seems that they designed the motherboard for it to not really endure flexing. In a laptop that you could have, you know, in a satchel bag that, you know, bounces against you as you walk. I was not too happy about that one. About how that went. But, anyway. That had an NVIDIA GPU. And that I had 15 years ago. At this point. And I know those drives was the same then. Did I have the GTX 570 at that point in the desktop? Don't remember. I just remember that I definitely had basically the same driver interface on that. Yeah, that was Vista, wasn't it? I think my first laptop was running Vista at the time. Yeah, my point being that those are old drivers, and it's like Intel, first off, might have better driver system, better driver interface. And at least that, you know, overclocking off the bat. It's like, come on, NVIDIA, seriously. You have the time, you have the money, you have the people. Why don't you make drivers that, you know, look like they're from this decade? And with features to compete with AMD and also Intel when that comes out. I mean, yeah. The next bit of news I just remembered is actually with NVIDIA. Yeah, I do want to look. Rumor is that they will launch an RTX 30 Super series in January, and then the RTX 40 series in October. So, I think that them doing a Super series is entirely predictable, and I see nothing wrong with them doing that. I just hope, because like I've been saying, such a launch would be an opportunity to reset the pricing. That is, of course, assuming that, you know, that they have enough to actually, to actually fulfill demand. But, you know, let's, you know, setting that aside, it's still, you know, it's like they could try. Will they? Though, because it is NVIDIA, I don't know. But that would be an opportunity. Hopefully they will take it. I think it would be a good move if they took it. But then, of course, even if they just, you know, kept the same pricing, but, you know, if the Super Series is, you know, an appreciable upgrade, then, you know. Okay. Then, it, you know, we'll work it. Yeah, I do remember with the 20 series, the 20 Super Series. Didn't they, not for the 2080 Super, not quite at least. Didn't they effectively step up a notch? Well, actually, didn't they actually use the higher silicon? Like, wasn't the GPU in the RTX 2060 Super actually the original 2070 silicon? I think that was the case. And I think that was also part of the reason why I went to 8 gig, because that had the wider memory bus, so you couldn't do 6 gig on it, at least not as easily. Where is this last bit of square? But yeah, and I think the 2070 Super, wasn't that on par with the 2080 Super? Sorry, the original 2080? The 2080 Super was better, but I don't think it reached 2080 Ti levels. Which, to be fair, NVIDIA would have very actively tried not to. And I'm not saying that as a, like, oh, NVIDIA may not, try to reset pricing kind of cynicism about that company. I'm saying it as you wouldn't want to, in general, undercut your flagship like that within what is technically the same series. I mean, if you can get closer to it, but you don't want to kneecap it. So, if I am remembering correctly, then that would mean that we could have. Did I try? We could end up having 3060. A 3060 Super at the level of the 3070. 3070 Super at the level of the 3080. That's right, we have a 3080 Ti. Ooh, I don't remember where all the placing and stuff is. Like I said, I've been busy with other things, so my mind is a little not sharp on some of the stuff, because I've just had the other concerns. Hey, I'm making good progress, at least, on this editing the CPU thermal scripts article, so hopefully hopefully I'll be able to have that out. A couple weeks, I think would be reasonable. Not on OCC. I will share it, but I don't think I'll submit it, because it's too much about the scripts themselves. I don't think anybody cares. Seriously, where is this left? I'm gonna give one more pass down here, then I'm gonna go up and look for it, because it might be near the beginning. Let me see, what's the... Okay, the other two things that I have noted here are both video game related. One, and it was definitely, I saw headlines on it, it's like, ooh, this could be good. Knights of the Old Republic is being remade, which, that, I would definitely look forward to that. I remember playing that, borrowed it from my brother. Played that through 2 or 3 times, I think. I know twice, because, you do the light side, dark side kind of thing there. And then, I think I may have done it one more time. I also still have one screenshot from it, though. And I'm completely serious about this, because there was a bug in it that I kept running into near the beginning. And if it happened, it would just say, I'm broken, so very, very broken. And indeed, it was very broken, because it was unrecoverable. You had to delete that save and start over. Now, fortunately, it was very literally at the beginning, like half hour in, so you wouldn't necessarily lose much, but it was still one of those things that always annoyed me. That's like, wait, you know this bug well enough to put in a joke message, but not well enough to fix it? Come on, man. You can fix that, can't you? Of course, today I recognize that it's not that simple, but, still, it's, could you at least have come up with some way to not have to delete the save and start over? And I do have copies of Knights of the Old Republic, I know on Steam. Let me actually look, because I'm curious now. Where do I own that? Yep, just on Steam. Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. pretty sure I got it, one of the Humble Bundles that was focused on Star Wars. Pretty sure that's how I got it. Never played 2, only played the original. And it was part of the PlayStation Live? No, PlayStation Showcase 2021? But it isn't, PlayStation exclusive. For console, on console it is a PlayStation exclusive. PlayStation 5 exclusive. But, apparently it will also be coming to PC, that was stated. So it's like, yay! And that's something I'm gonna have to mention to my brother, because he might be like, oh yeah, I'm getting that. Like, I will upgrade, I will upgrade my computer, or I will get a PlayStation 5 to play it. I'm getting drink water now. But yeah, Star Wars games, well, Star Wars in general holds a special place in his heart. So, and that game, he would definitely be particularly interested in seeing a remake of it. Okay, yeah, let's go up, and I'll just search up there. Hopefully it's up there, and I'll be able to find it. Oh, I need to keep holding it. The other bit of news is interesting. So, Stardock released an update this week for Ashes of the Singularity, now to version 3.1, and includes some balance changes, but also a change to the mesh optimization, I believe is what it said in the patch notes, that can improve its loading by 70%. That's a lot. And also they increased the thread limit from 16 to 24 threads, which for more intense games where it's like you have thousands upon thousands of units, that's going to be more significant. But also last week they had an update for Fallen Enchantress. Wait, no. Fallen Enchantress Legendary Heroes? Was that it? Like, it was that specific version of the game. And it's a much older game. Ashes is already 5 years old now? 6? No. Yeah, 5 years old. That was 2016. So it's, that they're still updating their older games, but then, Fallen Enchantress, that game is much older. It's like, that's impressive and unusual. And I saw that the head of the company had been, people were asking why does your company bother updating these old games? And his answer was, because we still play them. Which, is very fair, good, yeah, that's right. Very fair and good answer. It's like, because the studio is still playing the game, they still see ways that they can tweak it, things that they want to fix, and so they fix it. Which is really neat, not just because of the whole they're fixing these older games. Actually, I'm going to go this one first so I can go up here, and I want to go clockwise, so I'm going to go there and then head over to that one, and then head up. There you are. But it's also, I just want to point out that it's the idea of being able to, like, oh, we're still playing the game, and we see that there's a way, we see ways here that could be better, so we're going to implement those ways, those tweaks. Yes, that's cool, but also to just have the studio environment to support that. That is also very impressive. Because there would definitely be some studios out there where, yeah, you may still be playing the game, might still be very much a passion project for you. They roll with oil. So, you constantly think about it and find ways to fix it, but the studio might be like, yeah, we don't have the time to dedicate to that. So if you want to keep doing it on your own time, you can do some stuff, but, it's It's basically, yeah, you can do some things, but we're not going to sanction it necessarily. Whereas with Stardock, because it's, they're still doing this with Ashes, they're still doing this with Fallen Enchantress. I think there's one or two other games as well that are older that they've updated like that in the last year or so. And it's, like, that is itself somewhat impressive that they are allowing that to happen. Is it coming? No, it's going. Wait. Oh, wait. How am I going to get up there? Oh, shut up. That's how. Okay. I need to get this way. Whoops. Let's try that again. I'm kind of out of things to talk about, so just trying to think what else is there. Nothing much really coming to mind. I don't think you're going to care about my work on the scripts. Which is kind of sad, but it's also... I mean, I don't know if I'd want to listen to somebody just talking about scripts while they play a game.
Oh, here comes the mighty duster!
Damn it! I think what I need to do...
Grinding us to pieces!
I'm going to ignore them for a little bit. Finally made it. I'm gonna get out. He's gonna repair.
But do you have a plan?
Right, how about that? Why not that? What older games can I think of that I would love to see, get another update? Oh, and I also just remembered, Stardock is also going to be putting out. Well, it's a beta update currently for Star Control Origins that includes some significant graphics tweaks. Like, I've seen some of the comparison screenshots, and it's like, yeah, they are definitely much nicer. This. God damn. Oh, they are actually following me. With this game, would I say this game should get an update? No, because I don't think it really needs it. There's nothing it needs that would arrive as a traditional update. The one thing it definitely could use, though, would be a new Game Plus mode. It's like, I remember that being a criticism from when I reviewed it, that, it made little sense how it's like you reach the end of this game and then what? Or you just get all the upgrades on the Magnum Opus and then what? Then what do you do? There's nothing left to do. And that is kind of a problem. Definitely a weakness. But that's not necessarily something that I'd expect to see fixed with a traditional update in any way. another... It's another game that would be nice to see an update too.
That was close! Be more careful next time, I beg of you!
Dead Space just occurred to me, which I did see apparently they're going heads down for that, meaning we won't see anything more until they're further into development. But it's like, you know, we are getting an update there, so, well, a remake there, so it's like, okay, well then, don't need to worry about that too much. I mean, one thing that is kind of an issue with, you know, reviewing games is I'm so used to playing new ones and then moving on. It's hard to think about older games. Yeah, let's put that on. Just Cause 2, probably the game I'll do recordings in after this. That could use some love, but mainly just for graphics. I mean, it looks okay, but you know, it could look better. You know, sort of like how Star Control Origins, that beta update that's out there for how that, you know, the improvements that are being made there, Just Cause 2 could benefit from as well. It's been a while since I've touched Just Cause 3 as either. That one's pretty solid. Ooh, I know a game. Which, wait, weren't they gonna work on that? Burnout Paradise. That would be neat to see updated today. And as I think about it, I feel like, didn't they actually announce something to it? How long have I been? You know, yeah, I will do that, but there's 3 things I have to defeat. Interesting. Wait a minute, hang on. Go this way, go this way, go this way. Come on, there we go.
Boom fields in this region.
Well, this is unfortunate for me.
Look, yonder, one more party coming. See, they're charging fire! Here's the chance!
And yeah.
Get for the kill!
So now I'm just stuck here for a bit.
Oh, I'd be done if I had some better tools. She's healed.
Okay. Trying to think of any other games that would be nice to see updates as well. And like I said, it's just I've gotten so used to playing newer games and moving on, which is a real shame because there's some very good classic games, also some not so good ones. A couple weeks ago, I played Limbo, which I did recordings in with the Gaze Tracker. I did not enjoy that game. I do not understand why it is as loved as It is.
Keep an eye on the car.
I was like, some of its design was just like contrived. It's like not very clever. It failed to teach important concepts that became necessary later on. I mean, yeah. Very unimpressed by that game. Ooh, hang on. I can heal. I can, son of a bitch.
Bang before he runs! He will tear that tire right off!
Oh, this is bad. Oh, wait, no, they're actually getting out. They're idiots. Alright.
You want to hurry up?
It would be if I had
They won't see
better
me coming
equipment.
in this. Not right away.
Let's take care of that water. Oh. I was hoping to do some damage to it. I'll take that one out that I'm facing. You know what? I just thought of another game. I did see that it was apparently confirmed, I think it was, that they are working on an Alan Wake remake. I played that game, oh geez, that was months ago now. But again, for doing recordings in Gaze Tracker and Heart Rate, that I very much enjoyed that game. Oh yeah, that's what it is. I mean, yeah, there were some technical things to it. But I don't necessarily know how much, it really needs an update. I mean, yeah, the graphics could also be better, but mainly it's performance that I would be interested in seeing improved. That really was a very... and a fairly easy one to recommend. Just be aware, performance isn't great. And I'm trying to remember, you had to... It normally wants to run at 30 FPS, I think it is. Yet you can do something to get it to 60, but it can be wonky if it goes above 60. I mean, it has issues. I'm getting it. Oh, that was easy. You know what just occurred to me? Oh, I know that region. just wondering where the things for upgrading. Maybe I need to actually, go to Pink Eye first before those working. Now my mind is just working again on the whole what crap. You know what?
Grand mojo, what sits on the hood? An ornament of great power for us. Some big pad armor on these small ones. A war machine goes nowhere without wheels.
Whoa! Okay, that was awesome and very, very close. You know what? Now that I think that Outlast could also be a good game to see get updated, mainly for performance. Controls were fine. Whoops. This is not gonna go well for me. See? You know what? Screw it. Let's... Oh, is it not an option because of the... Oh.
You done yet?
That's annoying.
If I had better tools, I'd be done by now.
And the better tools, I think, are gated behind Pink Eye. And it's gone. You can repair later. Damn, that sucked. Wait a minute. Alright. I was just thinking, wait, could I just fast travel somewhere that would be closer so I don't need to keep doing the same stretch?
Enemy closing in on us. Banzai movement!
Definitely want to disable that.
Stop it! It will tear that tire right off! Get out or you die! Run it down! Are you freezing nowhere?
Gotta move on.
Strap in!
Oh, no, it's running away. You know, speaking, so I was talking about updates, I forgot. Some more information on Update 5 for Satisfactory has been shared, which is definitely looking interesting. I will admit, though, I haven't touched the game for so long. It's just a question of time. That, I don't want to spend as much time in that game as I would need to do anything, because basically the next thing I want to do would just be setting up for doing nuclear, which I said I'd do nuclear and record it for these, for this stuff. But like actually setting things up, making sure I have all the materials and such that I need. But I've just not really felt like investing the hours to get that ready. And it would be hours, because even if the tasks themselves wouldn't take that long, I'd be distracted. And it's like, ooh, let me go do this, because that'll make it better. Yeah, it's not the easiest game for me to, like, step in, step out of. But yeah, with Update 5, they're going to add the concept of, I'm gonna get the scarecrow when I come back. Hard and soft, blocking. Because of a bug that occurred a while ago for them, which I actually was never aware of. But apparently it was, a cheat creep. That's what it was called, cheat creep. Apparently, it was a wedge piece specifically. I doubt I'm gonna be able to get that straight. Yeah. When the wedge foundation pieces, it was possible, it lacked collision, so people could place it and then use it for aligning things and just have stuff go through it because it didn't have collision. It was so popular that when it was a bug. When they fixed it, people complained they actually had to put it back in. Well, Update 5 is just going to codify something there where many things will have soft clearance, so you will be able to build through them, or rather these things will be able to build through other things. And then some things that have hard clearance, where it's like, no, you don't have a choice. You have to, make sure that you're not colliding with that. Why is this familiar? They also are adding many new different kinds of foundations. Guardrails that can actually be slanted, which that I'm definitely going to like. There was more. What else? Saw today that they are changing how you can plot paths for vehicles. Including the ability to, well, it was three main things. You can save them and then reload them, but only on the same type. So that way, like if you have a truck and you want to have multiple trucks take the same route, it's going to be much easier. But you can't do like a truck and an Explorer that way. You would have to redo the path for one of them manually. Which, I mean, it would be nice if that weren't the case, but yeah, alright. It is what it is. They also will now use splines instead of point-to-point, which basically means that it will be smoother, so hopefully it will stick to the paths a bit better. Because as was explained in the video, the fundamental issue was that the vehicles weren't necessarily aware of the next point they were trying to get to, the next waypoint. So this, by going to splines, they will be aware of it because the spline is shaped by more than one point.
He's naked! Pound him to a pulp! Look out! He's got a knife!
I've been hitting E. I guess it just isn't allowed to work with the weapon in the hand. The third change, though, to vehicles that makes sense. It's fair to do. I understand. It would make me interested in them potentially having it where you can actually, like, manually edit things. It's like not just have to run the path. They have to be circuits. The paths will actually have to be circuit. Which, I mean, that's probably going to prove a very good change. So now you'll have to take a truck around, from point A to point B. You will have to have it then go from point B back to point A for it to work. Which, I mean, as I said, makes sense to me. But would make me wish that it were possible to manually edit even just pieces of the route. Was where if you find that, oh, I could have, taken this shortcut there and it would have been better. Oh, point B here.
I like to kill such a handsome dude. Someone's gonna come close so I can kill you. Come here.
I got one of them.
Best you can do.
And yeah, I will do this. It's so advantageous to have these. Why not run back? I'm trying to remember, what was some of the other stuff that they showed?
Screaming about killing.
I'll end the misery. Fight!
Especially with the big dude there, it makes sense to take advantage of these explosives.
I'll touch your bracket, buddy! Stop full on you! Hold my boy!
This what you want, yo? Come and die now. Let me get my hands on you.
I'll be right back. Just gonna get me a boomstick. Oh yeah, I could mention that, couldn't I? I'm still using the lubricated JWK silent linears, and I think I will.
Getting ready for me?
And isn't that how much damage that does? I think I will do the write-up, do the review of them this weekend. At which point they will. I think I will leave them long-term in the NK65. They really are quite nice. It's been too long since I've used the pandas. It's hard to say if those would necessarily beat them, but I like the purple pandas enough that it's kind of whatever next build I may do. I think I'd like to put them in that. And there are some future builds I'd like to do. It's just, in all three cases, it's actually the hardware isn't available yet. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna run back and use the booms. Well, maybe... It just felt like no matter how much I was attacking him, I wasn't actually hurting him. There we go. So yeah, I'll just have to... I'll have to think about what it is I want to do long term with some of the switches, but yeah, these will probably stay in here. And before going back to the 1 of 60 HSE build that I do prefer, I like the 60% layout, the just straight 60% layout better than the NK65, and there's a reason. Besides the whole, I like the keycaps better and the switches better on that build. It's, I think, better for my wrists. Because I find myself so often curving, bending my right wrist over to reach the arrow keys on the NK65, because they're just down and lower right. Whereas on the 60% build, I have to hold a key and then they're WASD. But the key I hold, I just press with my thumb, and it's right there. I don't need to really shift my hand at all. So it just, I feel, is going to be better ergonomically for my hands to do it that way.
There never were good guys or bad guys.
But I am thinking I will with the BW4s, because lubricating the springs in these JWK sign linears, ooh, that made such a difference with quieting the spring noise. And the BW4s do have some spring noise to them. The rest of the action is very smooth, very quiet. It's like in no way does it need, like, the switch itself doesn't really need lubrication, it's just the springs. So yeah, I think I will take the time to do that. Because, oh, that'll be in, like, just that final touch that it needs. Yeah, after these silent linears, though, I don't really know what I'll do next with as far as custom keyboard stuff. Oh, there's also an insignia I missed. Because I think as far as switches, like, I'm running out of room to put any, so I'm not sure about doing switch reviews. Yeah, continuing to do switch reviews, but it's like there are a couple, no, sorry, 3 different builds that I think I would like to try to do. And as I said, in all 3 cases, the hardware isn't available yet. One, I mentioned at some point, the duckboard macro pad that I have and I'm using. I know I talked about it because it's a 4x5, a number pad layout, plus 1 key. That's very convenient for me. And then also has a rotary encoder, and it can have an OLED display on there as well, but I don't have that hooked up currently. Yeah, I got all that. And that I got as part of a group buy, and the people behind it are also going to put together a split 40%, which it would be a kit that I'd have to, you know, put together, but I'd be willing to give it a shot at the right price. Seems like that could be fun, but they haven't offered that yet. I'd like to try a plank, which is an ortholinear 40%, so quite a tiny thing, very appropriate for the name plank. So there's that, but I'm waiting to see the revision 7 of that, because one of the changes is how the USB port is connected, and it should be more robust than the current one, because I have seen complaints that on the revision, well, the versions of revision 6, because apparently there's like Rev 6 and Rev 6.1. I just want to see. Hate it when I get a little bit tongue-tied. But what I'm waiting for is with the revision 7. Apparently, the USB port will be on there a bit better. So I would like to enjoy that. Not have to worry about a USB port breaking off. That's horrible. And then there's the... Okay, that red there had me a little unsure. Keybio Iris, which is like a 60% split. And I'd like to try that as well, but it's revision 6, I want to say, of that. Ah, it's up there. That I'd want to try. Mainly because it'll be hot swap. And I say that not because of the whole, like, not wanting to solder. That doesn't worry me so much. But it's more so the whole concern of, you solder in your switches. Well, you have to have your stabilizers in first. And then you find that the stabilizers rattle, but you can't get to them to lubricate them because the switches are soldered in. It's more about in the finality of soldering it in, that suddenly you now can't make other changes that maybe you really, really want to make. Alright, so with that done, warp back G. Just, so I'm fully stocked and all that. And also check, I don't think there's anything for me to purchase, but there might be. Oh wait, yeah, because it even saw me garage right there. It is funny when you do something like that. See, the thing that bothers me, okay. It's these that will, yeah, get the weaponry upgraded. Sniper rifles. Oh no, there is also another one. But I don't like that I already have defense that high, so it's basically I'm gonna have to be just improving the other stuff to make handling the convoys. There we go. Make handling those guys easy. But yeah, those are the 3 builds I would like to try doing. The Kiwi is the name of that 40% split that I would have to solder together. Though that would come with hot swap sockets. And I don't know, because that would be grouped by if I would necessarily do an article on that. But a revision 7 plane, that I would write up, because that would be something that would target mass production. Well, not necessarily high enough scale that it's like you can always get them, they'll always be in stock, but they would be an in-stock kind of offer thing. And the Iris 7, yeah, I think, no, 6, revision 6. Let me actually pull that up. Yeah, because revision 4 has been out for a while. That's like the version I saw where it's like, yeah, I think I would give that a try for a split. Revision 5 came out recently. Oh yeah, okay. The main difference there is it come on, brain, turn over. It uses split keyboards. You need a cable connecting them, and typically it's a TRRS cable, which apparently not many people necessarily like using. With the revision 5 of the Iris, they changed it to be USB-C, which is more robust, and I think part of it is also electrically it's more sound, so if it like comes unplugged during use, you're less likely to short it and cause damage. The revision 6 has the USB-C, but also has the hot swap sockets, which it's just, as I said, that's just so that I could change things out. Well, not so much, not change things up, be able to take them out and like clean up the stabilizers or something. Because seriously, noisy stabilizers, it is so annoying. I mean, it just that's the thing that makes noise with the silent linear switches right now, and it's so annoying because it's like I got different stabilizers that I can put in there, but it's like I have to wait until I finish with these switches, until I review these switches before I can put the other stabilizers in. Because I need to make sure that it's consistent. um. Oh, hang on, I just know. You know what? That makes sense. Sorry, I pulled up the iOS product page and it does say here 2U thumb support removed from revision 6, and that actually makes sense. So what that's saying is the way a lot of split keyboards are, you've got like the main cluster of keys that your fingers will hit, which also have smaller clusters where your thumb will rest and be able to hit, and that's somewhere that you can see some changes. Because there's a hot swap though, they're just having built out where everything is a 1U setup, which would be fine for me. But when you can solder them in, then you can have the switches in different positions that way, because it's a lot easier to have multiple solder points than it is to have, hot swaps that are just packed right up against each other, or they might actually have to overlap. And you'd also need holes there for stabilizers as well. So it just, yeah, that makes sense. To not have that there. But yeah, and I'm Key.io, by the way, is the place that makes the iris, and they have actually the revision 6 up, saying that it's coming soon, so it's not available yet. I may actually put in my email address so I can get an update on that. But $69.99, so $70 for likely just the PCB, which it's PCB with the chip built in, with the controller built in. It wouldn't include. Okay, wow, there's a lot of wouldn't come with that, and that is also more expensive. Oh, it also has per key RGB like the NK65, though it looks like it's north facing instead of south facing. But the iOS revision 5 and revision 4, the revision 4 is currently available. They're both $59.99, so $60. But yeah, I'd definitely give that a shot. Yeah, I think I will put in the email address so that I will know when they come up. Yeah, I don't really know what more I got to say. I mean, I'll just briefly talk a little bit. Even though I've not gotten anything from Key.io, I have looked at stuff they have, and they do have some interesting stuff. Like they have the Sync and the QFency. Not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, which are imagine traditional keyboards, but they're split. It's like they don't have a wonky, well, kind of wonky like the iris split layouts that are more appropriate. I think that they are more ergonomically designed for how the the key layouts make more sense for being split. But no, with these, like the QFency is a split 65%, and it's literally I'm just trying to find a good image here to use. The split is between the 6 and 7 keys, T and Y, G and H, B and N. And it's also got all the way to the far left a cluster of, it looks like 10 keys that, could be like macro keys. And apparently you can also put a rotary encoder in there. Oh, and there's that's upper left corner and upper right corner of the two halves. So the extreme upper corners support rotary encoders. But yeah, I mean, it's just that's an interesting design. I don't think I would go with that just because it's the iris design, and you see that with others as well. There's the Lily 58, the Jin, which man, the Jin is a kind of wild design. It not only is a split 60, but it actually has room. So like the duckboard, I don't have it installed, but can have an OLED display on it. The gins actually can have color e-ink screens on it. It's like getting kind of nuts and fancy with all this stuff, aren't we? But hey, that's fine. I mean, it's cool. It is really cool to be able to see the depth of customization, depth of features that you can achieve with these custom keyboards. Even if it is I don't need it, it still is I appreciate that this stuff is possible. So yeah, I'm definitely running out of things to say. But yeah, if you're looking at some of the custom keyboard stuff, I'm like One-Up Keyboards, I've, not only gotten stuff from them, but I've also patronized them. I've purchased stuff from them. Been a good experience. The stuff I've gotten from Novel Keys, where the NK65 is from, they did provide that to me along with several Switch types. Like they're a good source of stuff as well. KeyBio, I have no relationship with them at all, but I'm interested in the Iris. And there's plenty of other places as well. Definitely, look into some of this stuff, because it's my old Razer keyboard, which was my first mechanical keyboard, is currently about 15 feet away, and it's basically just next to other stuff, because that's what it is for me now. It's just other stuff. At some point, I might try opening that up, taking it apart, and making it better, but my experience with the Yankee 65, my experience with the One-Up 60 Hot Swap Edition build, both have been far and away so much better than using that. They are so much more comfortable. The switches, the variety of switches I've gotten to use, I think I like all of them better than what came in that Razer Black Widow keyboard. And the software being in the configurability that you get with VIA, with even more deeply with QMK, it is so superior to that I don't know how much interest people have had in the custom keyboard stuff, but I do hope that at least some looked at it and considered it and started to see that, or done some digging, started to see that, wow, there really is a lot of variety here, and some really, really fun and interesting stuff that you can do, and they genuinely can feel so much better. I mean, just new keycaps, and I'm so serious about this. When I put the Drop Skylight Series keycaps on the Cooler Master mechanical keyboard that I have over here that's connected to the test system, it completely changed the typing experience, made it so much more enjoyable. And that, I spent $45 on those keycaps. They're now $55, but it's still, you can spend that much and transform your typing experience on a keyboard that, I don't know if you can go into Best Buy and buy that, but basically stock a mass-produced mechanical keyboard. That's like, yeah, it's not necessarily all that special. You put new keycaps on there, it may be special to you. It may now be, it made the sound better. I like the sound of the other keycaps on there better. The keycaps felt a lot nicer. I mean, I think I can stop there because I know I'm ranting and rambling some. But it is just the custom keyboard stuff. It is so worth looking into if you spend a lot of time on a keyboard. And hey, you might be like, you know what? I'm perfectly happy with what I got. You know what? Good for you. It's all about preference. But it might still be worth you taking the time to learn about something. To just see, you know what? Maybe that keycap profile, maybe I'd like that better. Or, maybe I don't need a full size. Maybe I can go to a small size. That is still one thing. When I went to 60% from the full size, it's like, I haven't missed the full size. Having a number pad now with the macro pads, that is very nice for some of what I do. It's especially nice because of being able to have the various macro keys. Like, I'm going to be able to hit one key and it'll stop the recording. That's very nice. That's very helpful for me. But going from a full size to 60%, I barely even noticed I lost things. You really don't know what you can work with and what will feel good to work with until you try. I think I can just end it with that. So yeah, I will see you next week, which I can't think of any reason that I won't be continuing in Mad Max here. I mean, if some update comes up, like Going Medieval had an update not that long ago. Last Spell, it's been a while since it's got a major update. Oh, what's this? I actually just yesterday, on Thursday, major update coming soon, plus new old branch opening. Cool. If that arrives next week, I will be doing that. I'll be spending some time in that. Okay, there is some Apocalypse progression will be reset. And also, I do feel like admitting I've not been playing the game as much as I probably should and want to. I enjoyed The Last Spell. It is a good game. Did get the key for that and reviewed it in early access, and I keep it installed, and because, I want to come back to it, and hey, major update. When that goes live, I'll probably spend I may spend some time in there making sure certain things before doing the weekly recording, but I'll do that. We'll just have to see when that is. And I am definitely just blathering and rambling and all that, and I'm sorry, but it is kind of what I do. See you next week.